Ready? Hey Blainistas, this is me, Zandalay Blake, here at Shoot Digital Studios with my girl, Margina Dennis.
Hey,
and we're here to talk about her wonderful career. We're actually taking a few minutes off of her being on set for Paper Magazine's 25th anniversary shoot. So how are you?
I'm good.
How are you feeling? How's it on set?
You know, we're working in a closet today, but it's all good.
So we just want to ask you, like, your job sounds so glamorous. What exactly is it that you do when you get on set for a magazine?
Well, you know, you got to make sure that the talent is ready and looking good, and also that their energy is good, because that comes across when we're on set. So, like, you know, today I made sure that people were fed and not thirsty.
Good.
It's part of it because it helps.
So when it comes to the makeup portion, like, what do you do? Do you do exactly what they want, or do you kind of give them your vision, or is it the photographer's vision? How does it work?
It's, you know, it's kind of political. You have to figure out you have to look at what their vision is. I do research on people before I work with them, especially if they're famous, so I can see what their style is. And then I also have to take into consideration the vision of the publication, like, you know, where the direction it goes, and then also you know, the photographer's vision. So I have to take all that into consideration, and then, you know, still be able to put my flavor on it. So, yeah.
So in your history of working, like, what's been your absolute favorite shoot or favorite subject, and why?
Probably the funnest person that I ever worked with was Tracy Morgan.
Really? I can imagine, but you gotta tell us why.
Because he's crazy and he's funny and he's mad cool, and we're actually both Scorpios. We had the same birthday, and he just was like, the first time I worked with him, he was really quiet, and I could tell he was really quiet because he was having a bad day. So I gave him a space, and he was like, never took it up, but you could just tell that energy. And then I worked with him again, and he was totally different, and he respected the fact that I, like, gave him the space the first time I worked with him and let him be. You know, it was like, as soon as I was done with him, I actually vacated the room that we were in so he could, you know, do what he needed to do, and just made sure that he was comfortable, fed, and, you know, had, you know, anything that he needed to make sure that his people would go out and, you know, get the stuff for him. So he was, you know, much more relaxed the next time I worked with him, and then after that, we just had a ball. But
so,
yeah, he's crazy.
Who would you say was, like, the worst, nastiest, rudest person you've ever worked with, and why?
Gosh. I can't mention names to protect the guilty, but it was someone that's very much in TV and on the Broadway stage that you would never think that would be a train wreck.
A man?
Woman. But she was so bad that at the end of the shoot, the photographer came over and hugged everybody.
Wow.
And said she's gone.
Wow, that's awful. So
yes, it was bad. It was that bad.
So far as, like, what you do, skincare, makeup, like, who, if I can ask this, like, who's had, like, the worst skin that you've had to do so much work on? Like, Photoshop couldn't even help the situation.
Let's see. You know, for the most part, everybody's had really good skin, but, you know, every now and then people have those really bad days. I remember working on it was an actress one time for a commercial, and she had just had some sort of chemical peel or something right before, and literally while I was, like, putting stuff on, her skin was peeling off. Oh. And I was like, honey, what did you do to your skin? Oh, I had a chemical peel a couple days ago. Well, it takes a couple of days before the skin starts coming off. And it was actually for an ad campaign. And so her face is, like, peeling off, and they're like, what's the holdup?
Right.
And I'm like, her face is peeling off, and I gotta get it to lay down.
Oh,
so anytime I do this, it was just like, I could just, like, literally just do this.
That's insane.
And I'm like, you're killing me. Why did you do this right before the job?
I can't. Well, you seem, like, really happy. You seem like you love what you do.
Yeah,
can you give our viewers today advice on how you got to where you are and how they can get to that same career path if they're interested?
My best word of advice for those out there that are aspiring to be makeup artists is that this business is much more than brushes and makeup. So you have to have much more mad skill than being able to pick up a brush and have a box full of pretty colors.
How early do you think that one should start? Like, in fashion journalism, I say start when you're 16. Start as, like, editor-in-chief of your yearbook. But how early should one start?
Yeah. I would say, definitely starting sooner is better to see something that you want to do, and, you know, painting your friends really isn't going to give you an idea of what it's like in reality. You have to. You're better off going off and seeing if you can interview people that are in the industry, or maybe even shadow them for a day, so you can actually see what the job actually entails.
Okay. And what's the money like, if you don't mind us asking?
You want the truth.
I want the really, yeah.
Well, it's not what it used to be, not just because of the economy, but just because of other factors. And I mean, you're not gonna get rich doing makeup, especially not for a while. You better make sure you have a lot of money saved up if it's something you want to do.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. Any other parting words of wisdom? Could you just say for us, I'm a blingista?
I'm a blingista.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your time. All right, Blingista signing off. See you at the next video shoot.
Bye.
Bye.